Welcome to Ausablevalleydiscgolf. My name's John and I will be doing an in the bag. So I have my grip bag that I got from a good friend of mine. He got it at the Ledgestone. And inside we'll check it out and see what we got. First we'll go with my first two. I have my Zeus overstable disc, my driver disc, long distance driver disc that I use for long distance. And this one's a little more overstable than my other one. And this is the one I'll use for distances then I want it to hook up to the right. So then I have my Proto Zues that I got when they first came out. And this one I like to throw, and it flies a lot straighter, even a little more understable than the previous Zeus. And I prefer to throw this one the most. This is probably the one you'll see me throwing the most on my drives. And then inside here, I got two Hades that actually I just received from Alex, and I've always wanted to throw one. So I'm really excited to throw this one. This is the Big Z. I've heard a lot of good things about it, so I really want to check it out. So we might have to get some field time on that. And this is the Proto Hades. So if it's anything like my Proto Zues, I'm really expecting it to probably be even a little more understable than the other one, but we'll have to check it out when I throw it. And then in here I have my trusty crank that obviously a friend of mine died as a Spider-Man. It flies a little bit less than the Zeus. It flies a lot straighter than the other ones, but I don't get quite the distance. I really like this disc. When these discs aren't flying well for me, I always go to this one. And then here's my other crank. This one's a little more overstable than the previous one. This one still has to get beat in, obviously. The other one was, I throw a lot, so it's a lot more beat in. This one I throw when a little more wind, and it's a good reliable flyer for me. Crank SS. I threw this one in the last video. This one I like to try to get to turn over a little bit, try to get it to flip up the flat. I know I don't have quite the arm speed that I need to do it, but I'm still working on it. It flies just like the cranks, but a little less stable. So I have a feeling that this one's going to really do some numbers for me and some of the nicer holes. And then I have my Thrashers. I call this one my cotton candy Thrasher because it kind of has that cotton candy swirl. This one really flies real straight and true to me. It flies a little bit less than my cranks, but I know exactly where this one is going. I love to throw it on one of the holes that you'll see in the future, and it always seems to go right near the basket. This one, this is another Thrasher that I actually got when I spotted at D-Glow. This one I throw when I need it to go a little bit further than like a fairway driver, but not quite as far as a driver. This one flies really straight, and it doesn't hook over to the right as much as like even the cotton candy or the other fairway or the other drivers that I have. So I really like that disc. And then I have the Avenger SS, which is a really understable driver. Being left-handed, I really need a disc that goes from right to left, because obviously a lot of holes finish left, and I don't have that natural turn on like a right-hander will. So my Avenger SS is a must-have for me in my bag when I need something that goes straight and then maybe finishes to the left. And now my fairway drivers that I use most often would be my Undertaker when I need something that flies straight, almost like a buzz for myself, but a little bit further, this is what I throw. I throw this Undertaker, my Big Z Undertaker. Flies really straight for myself. And it goes a little bit further than my mid-range, and it's a really trusty disc for myself. And then I have my heat. This is a disc that I can throw at a hyzer angle and it flips up the flat or even turns over. And it's kind of like my Avenger SS, but it doesn't go quite as far. So this is the one I throw when I need a similar shot to like the Avenger SS, but just not quite the distance. And then I have my Raptor. It's a custom stamp Raptor, or custom dyed Raptor, I mean. And this one is like my flick disc, my utility disc, my get out of jail disc. This is the disc that you will most likely see me throwing the most. It is my go-to disc when I'm in trouble. It's my go-to disc when I need to flick it. It's literally the disc you will see me throw on just about every hole. And now I have my mids, and I have my Esp Zone, which I'm still working on throwing a zone. They are a little overstable for me, so I really have to try to throw some anhyzer on them when I throw them. They're overstable. I don't get as much glide on them. I'm working on it, trying to get my arms slots in the right spot, and I don't get them to fly quite as well as I would like, but in a process of learning them, that's kind of what you have to go through. So I'm hoping that these become a huge staple in my bag and that I can use these and they be really reliable. I got my TI Swirl Zone, Flex Zone. I just got this one from Alex, and he told me I should really try it. I really love the feel. I love that it's not as stiff as my other zone. I really personally really like a softer plastic, and this one really feels good in my hand, so I'm really excited to try this one out. Maybe it won't fly quite as hard as my Esp Zone, so I'm really looking to give this one a try and see what happens. And then I have my Buzz, and this is like my V Buzz. This is the Buzz that you will see me throw whenever I throw a Buzz. It's my ESP Buzz. It's a tour series by Nate Doss, so a little shout out to him. This one, obviously, I mean, Buzz, everybody knows a Buzz. It's like the most popular disc that Discraft has. I really enjoy it. And then I have this old rusty but trusty Buzz. This Buzz is the very first disc I ever bought, however many years ago it was. Obviously I don't throw it too much anymore, but sometimes you have to go with all reliable, and it's in my bag. And finally, for my mids, I have the Soul. This is obviously another understable disc that works kind of like my Avenger SS and like my Heat. When I need a disc to go from left to right, or right to left, excuse me, when I need it to go from right to left, because a lot of holes finish to the left, and being a left-hander, I need something that finishes that way. So this is that disc for me. Okay, now my putters. I only have a couple because I use the other, like the zones and the others for my approaches. I really use these just for putting. I have my Jawbreaker Roaches. I have my pink one and I have the blue one. Obviously they're pretty much the same. I will throw them on upshots every once in a while. They're really beat in. So I was looking to get a new putter So I talked to Alex, and he isn't letting me try out the soft Luna, because I had a Luna before and I did not like the feel. They were a little tough, so that's why I went to the Jawbreaker Roach, and I really like the way they feel. I like the softness, so he got me this soft Luna, and I really like the way it feels. It feels good in my hand. I like the grippiness of it, so I'm really excited to try this. I'm gonna definitely have to put some putts in. If you watched the first video, it did not work very well for me today, or that video on putting, but this disc hopefully will change everything, and I'm really excited. And obviously the little things that you have in your bag, I have markers. I have a few markers for my discs, and so, you know, I have an Ace Race disc, a putter or marker, and then I have like an end of a marker. And what else do I have in here? Nothing in there. You know, you have your goodies in here. You know, like I keep a flashlight just in case, you know, it starts to get dark. I keep a little pocket knife just in case you need to open something, you know, like a goodie bag or something. And I have a little golf ball. You know, you get your ball stuck up in a tree and you need something to throw at it, and sometimes the stick's not around, so, you know, a little trusty golf ball or baseball if you have one. And then, not in that pocket. Then you have your bug spray. You know, always good to have bug spray somewhere. You know, especially if you play out in the woods, it's gonna get some bugs and your ticks and all that stuff. You want to make sure that you're as safe as possible. So then you got your trusty scorecard that you can carry around in a race with. You know, when you play enough, you want to have scorecards. And that's about all I got. And thanks for watching.
Welcome to Ausablevalleydiscgolf. My name's Alex Smith, and this is my in the bag. Start out with, I have my Zeuses. This is my most overstable Zeus. I got this off of a friend of mine, and I throw it when I really need something to get back to the left, but at the same time it's not something I throw often. This is a very understable Zeus for me. I don't throw it the way that I should, but it's also extremely beat in from how much I do throw it. And then this is my new Big Z Zeus. In the last video, I tossed my good Big Z Zeus into the water. So this is going to be the one that replaces it. We'll see if I can actually throw it. Then we have my Hades. This Hades is extremely overstable for me, which is surprising because all of the other Hades I have are very understable. I think I know what I'm going to try and do with it with the season coming up. Next we have my Force, and this Force is kind of my go-to forehand disc just because I know what it'll do almost every single time. It's very hard to flip it over. Other than that, we have my Raptors. This Raptor is extremely understable for a Raptor. I got it at Dunham's probably when I first started, and after hitting trees on almost every shot, it's become understable. And this is the new Raptor I got. I threw it a couple times at the Vine course downstate. It's more overstable, and I do like the way that it flies. I've had other Raptors where I just don't like it because of how overstable they are. Then we have my Zen. The Zen, I don't throw it enough to know what it does, but it's still in my bag. So it's one of those utility discs where if I have a knack for it, I might throw it. And then in the back here, I have my Mantis. The Mantis is the first disc I threw over 400 feet. I don't throw it much anymore because I don't have a need to throw it on some of the courses I play, but it's still in my bag in case I want to throw it. And we also have my Scorch. The Scorch has been a staple for me for the past 3 months, pretty much since it came out. It's been a very reliable flip to flat anhyzer type shots. It's a great distance driver for a beginner. Then we have my Evader. The Evader for a fairway driver is my go-to for forehands because I can flip it up to flat and let it run straight and then it finishes. It doesn't get much of a skip, but when it does, it's very little. Then we have the Undertaker that I rarely throw. And I want to throw it more this year because now I know it's not an understable disc like I previously thought it was. It's more of a straight flyer, so it's not as overstable as a Raptor, but it's not understable like a Mantis. And we have the new Passion that I just picked up. I've thrown it a few times. It holds straight, but it doesn't like to turn. So it's different than like an Undertaker where it'll finish to the left. This will kind of finish straight. It's like a straighter Buzz SS or a longer Buzz SS, if that makes any sense. Then we have my Truth. And Truths are supposed to be extremely overstable. This one is very understable to the point where it's the most understable disc in my bag. I don't know if it's just because of where I got it, the plastic that it is, but ever since I got it, it's been flipping almost immediately out of my hand. Then we have my Page Pierce Buzz that I've been throwing so long that the stamp is coming off of it. This Buzz is probably my go-to mid-range. Flies straight, finishes straight, doesn't flip when I don't want it to. It holds every line that I put it on. So if I don't have the desired result out of this disc, I know it was something I did, not the disc did. Then we have my MD3. This MD3 is my most overstable mid-range, and it's also something I go to when I need something that'll also flip. So it's overstable, but it's understable. Then we have my zones. This zone is pretty understable. This zone is pretty understable for a zone. I can get it to hold anhyzer. I can get it to hold a flex line pretty easily. But it also does finish. It's also very skippy. And this is the other zone. I threw it for a while about a year ago, and then I put it away to make room for this orange zone, but now it's back in my bag replacing a different mid-range that I just didn't have a need for. Then we have my throwing putters. First we have my Page Pierce Fierce, the 2021 Tour Series one, and it's my understable putter for those short holes. It's not very glidey, which I was surprised on. And we have my Paul Macbeth 2020 Tour Series Luna. This has been in my bag since day one, since I started getting serious about disc golf. It holds straight, finishes straight, lands flat, and it glides a mile. Then we have my putting putters. First up we have my double stamped Luna. This is what I typically use for jump putts. and that's really all I use it for. I don't really throw it. I don't putt with it other than jump putting. And we have my Baby Yoda Luna. This one I just put back in my bag. When I first got it, I was putting off the rocks with it. I mean, it was in the basket, if I could say so. And the other 3 putters are just standard Lunas. They're what I've been using for the past few years, or for past few months. They're reliable, and I know pretty much what they're gonna do every time, as long as I don't release it badly. Other than that, we have just miscellaneous stuff. We have a disc grabber. I recommend most people get it, especially if you're gonna be going somewhere where there's water. It's a great use. Have towels over in this bag. I have a pocket knife on this side. A mini, little Detroit Lions mini. And up top we have the Bushnell rangefinder. I don't use it as often as I should, but I do recommend people get it. I have some Ripped Revenge cards. I want to play more Ripped Revenge this year. I feel like it would be fun to do, especially on a YouTube channel. And other than that, I've got a pen or a marker, and that would be it that I have up there. And then just a couple Gatorade bottles in the back. And that's all I've got. Thanks for watching.